Hey Apple fans, Apple Sheep, and anyone else out there watching, Richard here with another episode of iTalk, and in this video we are going to review the Insta360 One X2 360-degree camera, and it's coming up right after the intro. Hey everyone, we're back, and this is our review of the Insta360 One X2 360-degree camera. And a couple of things. First of all, if you stick around to the end of the video, we're going to have some video tricks that you can do through the Insta360 One X2 app. I will say, whatever you do, watch the tutorials and follow the instructions very carefully. If you don't, it won't work. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's get this party started with some specs. I'm going to go through some of the, what I consider some of the more important ones. This is not going to be an exhaustive list of all the specs that this camera has, but we'll just go through some of the more popular ones that people want to know about. Aperture, f2.0. In the next version of this camera, I would like to see Insta360 make that a little bit bigger with an f1.8 aperture, but f2.0 is actually pretty good for this size camera. So focal length is 7.2 millimeters, so you can get some pretty tight shots with this camera. ISO is auto, and you can manually set it from 100 to 3200. White balance, it has a range of white balance from 2700K to 7500K. Photo resolution in 360 is 6K, and in pano mode it's 4K. Video resolution 5.7K at 30, 25, and 24 frames per second. 4K in 50 and 30 frames per second, and slow-mo 100 frame per second is 3K. A little comment about the resolution. When you do some of these tricks, you lose a lot in the resolution, probably because of the AI editing. It gets very complicated, and it can go down to 1080 or even 720 by our estimates looking at it. Now, on a small phone screen, it still looks pretty good and it's hard to tell. But if you're watching it on a laptop or an iPad or a desktop, you can definitely tell the loss of quality in the video after this AI editing is completed. So that's one thing I would like to see improved in the next iteration of this camera. But overall, it's still pretty good. Video coding is quite impressive with H.264 and H.265. Gyroscope, let's talk about the stabilization. This camera has a really good stabilization system. It has a 6-axis gyroscope, and we're walking up and down steps and walking on trails, and the camera's bouncing around on my shoulder, and I'm telling you, it is silky smooth. This stabilization system on this camera is really excellent. Compatibility, it's compatible with iOS and Android devices, so whichever one you have, it'll work just fine with that. It has a USB-C port for charging, and the battery capacity is 1630 milliamp hours, and charging time, according to Insta360, is 85 minutes. That's with their standard charger. I bought the Insta360 rapid charger, and it'll charge the battery probably in half that time. Here's the Insta360 rapid charging battery case. It has 3 battery slots, and this thing works really well. It charges pretty fast, so this is a really nice add-on. I think it was about $50, so but worth it. And here is the not included Insta360 One X2 case. It does come with a little sleeve, but this case is really nice. So I paid a little extra for it. I can't remember how much it was, about $25 or $30. And here's the camera itself. This is a really nice, sleek design. So as you can see, this is a pretty small camera, really fits comfortably in the palm of my hand, depending on how big or small your hand is, but this fits really comfortably in the palm of my hand. It's 1.82 inches wide and 4.45 inches long, and the depth 1.17 inches. For you Europeans, 4.62 centimeters, 11.3 centimeters long, and 2.98 centimeters thick. So it's really feels good in your hand. It's pretty ergonomic. So like most 360 cameras, it gets its 360 capability from multiple cameras. This has a front and a back camera. Combined, you get 5.7K resolution at 30 frames per second if you're just straight shooting. Again, with some of the tricks, you lose a lot of that resolution. Runtime on a full battery at 5.7K is estimated about 80 minutes, and we actually did do a test on this. We got about 40 minutes of drive time, or was it longer?
I think it's about 40 minutes.
And was that on a full battery though? I don't think that was it?
Yeah, I think it might have been 48 minutes, something like that.
At 5.7K, 30 frames per second, the website says 80 minutes, Insta360 says 80 minutes. We did one from 100% charge and just let it run. We drove around and we got about 48 minutes. So, you know, that's an unscientific test, but we may do it again. But on our single test, we got about 48 minutes. So, yeah, that's about 3/5 of what the website says it should do. So. All right, let's talk features now. This thing is packed with a bunch of features. Some are really, really good, and some are okay. None of them are really bad. So these features, I think, we'll rate them from 1 to 5. 1 being don't bother, don't mess with it, it's worthless. 2 with being barely usable, 3 average, 4 really good, and 5 superb, excellent. So the 5.7K 360 video capture, if you use it just as straight video without any of the tricks and without any of the AI editing involved, it really does look pretty good, especially for a $430 camera. So I would give that at least a 4, maybe a 4.5. If you're doing tricks and using the AI editing, depending on the trick you do, it could be anywhere from 3 to 3.5 at best, because like I said, the video quality really goes down from 5K to 1080, maybe even 720. So that's an area that could be improved. The AI editing is amazing, but I would like to see the video quality, the resolution loss improved a bit with this camera. The Steadicam mode, 5, no doubt. 5 out of 5. The Steadicam mode is excellent, along with the flow state stabilization. The 6-axis gimbal in this thing is incredible. Like I said, we're walking up and down stairs, walking down trails, and the thing is bouncing off my shoulder on the what's it called, the selfie stick, yeah. The invisible selfie stick. And you cannot see hardly any kind of motion artifact in there. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, the touch screen. What I really like about the touch screen is it does have a really bright, crisp LCD screen. I really like the quality of the screen. It's really sharp, it's really bright, and it's a really nice LCD screen.
Yeah, just small.
Yeah. Overall, I really like it. I'll give it at least a 4, if not a 4.5 out of 5. It could be a 5 if it were a little bigger, but you can't do much about the size of the screen. It is necessarily round because it is shooting 360, and you really can't have a square screen looking at a spherical video. It is really easy to use, and it's pretty intuitive. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but with the Insta360 app, though, you can do everything with the app that you can do on the camera, including control the camera. And you can do all the editing with the app. You can control the camera. You can control the camera settings. So that makes it really nice. So you can do everything with your iPhone, and you really don't even have to touch the screen on the touch screen on your camera if you don't want to. The invisible selfie stick. You know, I was a little skeptical about this one when I was looking at this camera, but it really does work, and it's pretty amazing. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5, and the only reason it's not a 5 is when you look at the video really closely, but you kind of have to look for it. It doesn't jump out at you. You can kind of see where the AI does the editing out of the selfie stick, but other than that, it's pretty impressive. According to Insta360, the Insta360 One X2 is waterproof to 10 meters. For us Americans, it is 33 feet, and we haven't tested that yet. The AI editing, we will give that a 4 out of 5, and the only reason it's not higher is because, like I've talked about, the loss of resolution. But the AI editing itself is actually pretty amazing. It does some really cool stuff, and if you get this camera and you start doing some of the tricks and using the AI editing, you'll see it does some pretty amazing stuff, and really in a relatively short amount of time, less than 3 to 5 minutes. And it's really intuitive and easy to use. But again, I've said it before, make sure when you're doing these tricks, watch the tutorial videos or it won't work. The 4-mic 360-degree audio. That leaves something to be desired, don't you think?
Yeah, you might want to do the
external
mic.
Yeah, you might want to use an external mic.
If you're doing any kind of blogging or anything.
Yeah.
But then you might have to tape the wire to the selfie stick, and that may hide pretty good.
Yeah. I with all the videos we've done with this camera, I would rate the audio, the microphone on this thing 2.5 to 3 at best. So I would strongly recommend, if you're doing any vlogging or anything, to get an external microphone. If you're just wanting some background sound, I think it might be okay for that. But yeah, anything else you really need to hook up an external mic for this.
I wouldn't say anything else. I would just say just blogging, or
video, or
yeah.
I mean,
just having fun with it, just getting crazy shots, or using the AI. You don't need it. AI don't have no sound on it.
No. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, for the tricks where you're rendering out with the AI, with the software, then it doesn't matter because you're not using sound for those clips. But if you're actually using it as a camera, in a studio, and you're recording your voice, I'll just put it that way. If you're doing any voice recording, you really need an external microphone.
Or a second camera and do camera 1, camera 2, and Final Cut Pro or whatever you use.
Yeah, and then sync it up.
Yeah, can I say something?
No.
No? If you're doing a TikTok video, this will be a great camera for that.
Yeah, this is really good.
If you're doing YouTube videos, it may work on that also.
It can, again, if you're not using the internal microphone. I think you
That's
really, if you're doing, especially if you're a professional and you're
That's
making
true.
money,
And
you're,
you might want to use an external microphone for TikTok too, but
yeah, if
the
you're,
quality for that would be perfect.
yeah, for voice, yeah. I think you need an external microphone.
Yeah.
For TikTok videos, if you're doing just some fun stuff, it's probably okay. So, but if you're doing anything professional or semi-professional, where you, and you want your voice to sound good, I just think you need an external mic.
Well, another way to look at it, you could buy the camera. If you don't like the sound quality, buy the adapter off of Insta360.
It's true. It does have an adapter, and I've seen some reviews.
Try it, and if you like the sound quality, then don't buy the adapter. If you don't like sound quality,
Yeah.
buy the adapter. I can't remember how much was it.
It wasn't real
$30?
expensive. Yeah, like 30 bucks.
$30, and you had to buy a microphone too.
Yeah. So we don't have the adapter, so I don't know how. We did watch a couple of reviews on it, and
I believe it plugs in a USB port.
yeah, it plugs in.
And a warning, I'm not sure if it'll be waterproof because you have to open a door with a seal on it.
Good point.
So don't put the adapter on if you're going to jump in a pool.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter if you ruin the $30 adapter. It doesn't matter if you ruin the $430 camera. So, so yeah, jump in the pool with the mic adapter on it at your own risk.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the features. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Insta360 app for a minute. Now you can download it if you're an Apple user. You can download it to iPad or your iPhone and use it. All the same features. Android, I'm not sure about. Let's just talk about some of the quick ways to use this. So you can actually control it with. You can control the camera with the app. So you can select video, photo, HDR photo, night shot, which I haven't tried yet. And there's all kinds of bullet time. That's where you have the selfie stick and you're spinning the camera above you, and you can get some really cool shots with that. Time shift live and reframe live. So, and on the app, you can select your resolution and your frame rate. Here's where you can select your auto versus manual, and you can put it in manual, and you can set your ISO, you can set your aperture, you can set your white balance. I've been using it on auto. You know, I might play around with the manual settings here at some point in the future, but for now I'm just using auto. How you get to some of the tricks. So go back to the app to explore, click on explore, and here is, make sure you have the 1X2 or whichever camera you have selected. And here's, you've got easy, intermediate, and advanced. So if you're doing any, if you're gonna do any of these tricks with the AI, especially if it's complicated AI editing, make sure you watch the tutorial video and pay attention, because some of them require 5.7K 30 frames, some of them require 3K settings, and if you don't have it on the right settings, you won't be able to do that trick. You'll have to reshoot your video because it won't be able to read the video. So here's some of the tricks you can do with that are called easy. I think they're all pretty easy, but twister, Spider-Man, flash dash, fly lapse, inside out, shadow clone, we did that one. We did the flash dash, and that will be one of the ones if you stick around to the end of the video to watch. We did clone trail. So there's lots of things you can do that are just kind of fun and neat little tricks. Here are some of the intermediate shots you can do. Horizon flip, stop motion loop, pixelize, stop motion, star lapse, et cetera, et cetera. There's really some really cool ones, clone ball, and the so-called advanced ones, which these are all pretty easy to do. The fly-through we did, that is really cool. The split jump I tried to do, I got out there and jumped around in my backyard like an idiot. No, went to a park, several different locations, and jumped around like an idiot, and I had the camera on the wrong settings, and it said, oop, invalid, there are no valid clips for this video. So that's why I emphasize, make sure, because this split jump one, you have to do in 3K setting, and we still had it set on 5K 30 frames per second, and it didn't recognize any of the video clips that I did. So I got out there and jumped around in a park like an idiot for nothing. So anyway, so some really cool shots you can do with this camera. You can fully operate the camera with an iPad or an iPhone, so you don't even have to deal with the small screen. So that works out really, really nicely. Final thoughts on this camera, my overall impressions. For $430, you really can't beat it. It does some really cool videos, and you get really good video quality, except you lose some of the quality after the AI rendering on some of these really complicated AI dependent shots. But overall, it's a great camera. It's a lot of fun to use, and we're going to be using it a lot more often. Well worth the $430 you pay for the camera. This is a great buy just to have fun. It's an inexpensive way to have some fun if you're into TikTok and doing some YouTube videos. Not recommended for professional level people. You're going to want a much better camera for that. But for the average consumer and average TikTok and YouTuber, this is a great buy. Stick around, we'll show you some of the shots we've done with this camera, and we hope you enjoy. All right, I'm Richard. That's another episode of iTalk. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit the bell so you don't miss an iTalk video. So until the next one, we'll catch you on the flip side. We're out.
Insta360
Review. Yep. Yeah, that thing's awful.
Camera 2, Insta360 review, camera 3, Insta360. There we go.
I'm putting that in the bloopers. Peeing in my walk-up. He drank a little too much. All right, hey everyone, all 10 viewers.
I feel 11's coming in.